Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you, Manu. Well, it is their democratic right to go do jalsas all across Pakistan, and then even if they want to do a march, we welcome them. But they have to abide by the law of the land. They should follow the procedures, and they should engage with the administration on anything of what they are planning to do. And if it is within the law, we will allow it. We will not stop it. We will not discourage it, as they did when they were in government. We just did a long march. The People's Party did a long march from Karachi. We went all the way. We were supposed to, but then we didn't. But we went to Gujranwala, and then Mariam Bibi also went to Islamabad and Pindi. So obviously, as long as it's within the bounds of the law, we welcome it. And I think nothing. But one thing should be certain to everyone, that that governments do not fall because of these marches. They've done this in the previous regime as well. When they were in opposition, they did the dharna, and that did not end in the
Rana Saab, what is the purpose then of this march, in your opinion, as as a political, in terms of the light of the political realities of today? What is the purpose behind this call, behind this march for the PTI? Of course, they are, he's, as far as Imran Khan is concerned, he's saying call elections, and that is, of course, his main assertion during these rallies.
So the purpose of this call, or this trying to mobilize the people of Pakistan or the PTI supporters, is basically putting pressure on the government for early elections. And why do they want early elections? They want elections because, one, they built a narrative around international conspiracy, and number two, they think, I believe that they think that if the election is delayed, the international conspiracy, it is already fully exposed. But then people, after the narrative might just fade away. So they want that the early election should happen while this international conspiracy is being bought by the PTI fan club. Number one. Number two, they want early elections because they want that none of their corruption scandals should surface, because obviously the new government is going to investigate, and there's not going to be any political victimization or political engineering via accountability. Well, you see, he's preparing the audience for another conspiracy theory. So that is what he does. He builds really good narratives, and he's putting in their minds that there is this conspiracy against him, and the foreign funding case is part of that conspiracy. Whereas the reality is that this case has been pending since 2014, and it has almost been 6 + 2 8 years that the case has not reached a conclusion. So it is about time that this case should reach its conclusion. And if, as it seems by the report issued, that if there are things which have been misrepresented, accounts have been hidden, and they have had transactions of millions and billions, then obviously, if a prime minister, a former prime minister, Nawaz Sharif, could get disqualified on the fact that he did not declare an income from his son's company, which he had not yet received, and he got kicked out because of that. So obviously, if there is a party which has been receiving millions and billions, and they have been hiding dozens of accounts and those transactions, and then on top of that, they have violated the law of foreign funding, that how a foreign funding can be accepted by non-Pakistani citizens. So obviously, if they get disqualified from that, it is going to be according to law. So that is what we're expecting, that it is an open and shut case. But on the other hand, because in Pakistan you have a judiciary which is very slow in concluding cases, so you can build any conspiracy theory, and you have a media which is divided, which is taking sides. So you come across neutral media personalities, it's quite rare in Pakistan. So the first, press release or, the statement of the National Security Committee said that there was interference, and we will strongly reply back to it. And the second one said that there is no conspiracy. There is no contradiction about it. Foreign policy is all about interference in others' matters, because every country follows their own national interest. And while you're doing that, you're not looking too much on about other countries' interest. You're just trying to impose what is in interest of your country, and that is an interference. For example, when Saudi Arabia invaded Yemen, they said that you should join this war. This was an interference in our foreign policy because we had nothing to do with Yemen, and they wanted to join us, and we refused. So that was an answer to their interference. For example, today, America is saying don't buy fuel from Russia, and India has said that no, we're going to buy it. So, foreign policy is about interference into others' matters. But the fact is was there a conspiracy about a regime change? Well, a regime change is a conspiracy. It's not an interference. Regime change,
another interesting point that comes out is that why was the person who was being conspired against told in advance that he would be, he would be, there would be this conspiracy? Why was he warned?
Maruf, there is absolutely no logic to this, allegation of a conspiracy that it happened on the 7th of March and they were in government, and till 27th March, no word of conspiracy was said. Only, it came up when they knew that they had lost the majority. And in between that time, they were entertaining the American delegates in OIC. They were appreciating them. And during their government, the Foreign Office did not make a single statement regarding a regime change conspiracy. It was only in the political arena that they took this matter up. And, and the fact is that this government, which is claiming that we want to be independent, independence comes from your economic stability. And this PTI government was the one that did not, they took the most loans, they took the most debt possible in the history of Pakistan. They agreed to the worst terms of IMF, never heard before. There were many other programs of IMF. So this country, this government specifically, should not be claiming that they are, they were going for an independent policy, and it is because of that there is a regime change. It is absolutely organic. It is absolutely local, and this has been brewing up since the last several months.